This is the Azimut 72 and it replaces the Azimut 72, but it's actually quite a significant refresh. It now has exterior design by who else but Alberto Mancini, and they have a brand new interior designer, Fabio Frontalino, who has never designed a yacht before, so fresh eyes on designing a yacht interior. It's got a pair of MAN 1400 horsepower engines and it will top out at an impressive 32 knots. It looks to be quite the package. Let's do a full tour and find out if it is. I'm Jack Haynes, welcome to Yacht Buyer. Before we get going, please make sure you subscribe to the Yacht Buyer channel. I wouldn't want you to miss any of our tours or sea trials, and if you subscribe and hit the bell icon, you never will. We're going to start at the bow because we never do this with these tours. Also, it's quite quiet, and thirdly, it's, I think, one of the best spaces on board. I think they've done a really good job with it. It's big, it's well proportioned, everything gets a good amount of space, from the sofa to the table space, the floor space. It looks great, I think. I love the look and the detailing, all this nice wooden detailing. Interested to know how well that will fare after an absolute battering from the sun and some salt water. But in terms of look and feel, it's really classy and it looks different, and I really like it. And there's some clever stuff going on as well, because what you can do is extend this here. It's in bench mode at the moment, so I can sit facing the people over there, but you can heave this whole thing over. It is quite heavy, but then it extends and drops down here and becomes a huge sunpad. You've already got some sunpad space here, but if you really want to stretch out, you can do that and extend it even further. You can see what the canopy in place at the moment, just 4 carbon fibre poles that stow away when you're not using it, and this canvas, but this is providing very welcome shade at the moment. And then if we head down the starboard side deck, I can talk a bit more about what it might be like to crew. She's a big boat, but you've got nice wide side decks, of course, big high tow rails, lovely substantial mooring gear, and you've got boarding gates as well. They're further back on this boat, they align with the cockpit, so if you do need to get off if you're side two, you can do it on both sides, which is nice. And the reason I come down the starboard side deck is because this is where you have the third docking station for the joystick control. So you've got the docking station up on the flybridge, of course, you've got the helm station here on the main deck, but you've also got this wing station here, which has got the joystick control plus the bow and stern thrusters. So if you're mooring stern two, like we are here, you have the best possible view of the aft end of the boat. Up to the flybridge then, obviously a very important part of this boat, and you'll notice that up here you have the black powder coated railings in contrast to the stainless steel down below. That's a look that they're bringing into both the Magellano and the Fly range at the moment. A lot of manufacturers are moving towards this sort of looser feeling furniture back here, no different on the 72. It is fixed, but it doesn't look like it is. It's lovely, comfortable, relaxed, and a great spot out back, creating this sort of terrace vibe where you have the glass balustrade at the back of the flybridge there. Works really nicely, and some dedicated sunbathing space back here. Obviously the wet bar, it's got all the usual stuff you'd expect, though I like this detail of a nice wooden raised panel where you can line up your drinks. Sink here, grill option here that this boat doesn't have, and then your usual array of cooling and bin and ice maker, all that sort of stuff down there. Moving forward, obviously you've got your diner opposite, and then overhead you've got glass and a sunroof. There's a button down there on the radar arch, and you can slide this roof back to get some breeze coming in through it if you want to, but obviously with it closed you still get a nice amount of natural light coming down here. Nice bit of sunbathing space forward here as well, and then we're on to the upper helm, and obviously I'm not driving it, but from what I can tell from just sitting at the helm, it seems really nice. There's a good amount of adjustment in this seat, so I can get good and close to this enormous Azimut wheel. The throttles fall easily to hand. You've got the joystick on this boat as well, so that you can combine the proportional thrusters and the shafts of the MAN diesel engines to get IPS style control. And you of course use the bow thruster and stern thruster separately here with these switches down here. Separate co-pilot seat, and they've actually got a bolster function as well. So I mean, the view is very good seated, and I like how high the windscreen is, but you can seat yourself a little bit higher if you want to in the rough sea. And nice to have the camera here as well, meaning that there is a third control station down in the cockpit. If you do want to berth from here, you can see the back of the boat really easily through the camera. And also, because of the position of the flybridge hatch, I can't quite see the end of the bathing platform, but you can see crew to communicate with them from this helm. It's a good layout. Let's head downstairs. Moving around to the cockpit, we have quite a traditional layout where you have the sort of wrap of seating here, lovely teak table here, and then a sunshade that drops down to give you not only a bit of protection from the sun, but also some privacy if you're moored stern to. Over here you've a little servery, there's a sink in here, a ice maker as well, and some storage down here. But what I really want to show you in this area is moving into the saloon, because they have a brand new interior designer, new to boating in fact. They've never designed a yacht before, Fabio Fantalino, and I've got to say I think it's really striking. They're not afraid to work with interior designers from outside the business, and I think it looks absolutely lovely. It's interesting, but it's still practical. It's not too crazy. I think it works really nicely. Over here you've got storage for all the glassware. That all works really, really nicely. It's all there aligned near the cockpit, near the saloon where you're going to need it most. Obviously you've got a nice amount of seating here. Again, connects really well with the cockpit. Low level furniture here as well. Over here is the television. Push a button, up it comes, the usual job, pop-up TV. And then moving forward, it starts to get really interesting. I really love this material here, the stone material here of the table. The shape of these seats is lovely. And look at the lighting detail, it's fantastic. And this motif is sort of mirrored throughout the boat, and I think this effect is great. I mean, I know absolutely nothing about interior design, but it looks pretty good to me. And a nice mix here of sort of L-shaped dinette seating that's fixed, and then obviously the chairs you can move around. I think it works very well. And a midships galley, something that's fading away a bit, but maybe it's having a bit of a comeback. I've seen it on a few boats at Cannes Boat Show, which is where we're filming this. But this is a really nice sociable area. It is very close to the dinette, which makes perfect sense, and then it's littered with storage. Underneath the counter you've got space for a big fridge freezer up here, which is nice. Lovely big sink, induction cooking, dishwasher, all the stuff you'd expect. It's a really nice domestic galley this, but I love the arrangement, and also the fact that you have this big bit of counter over here which connects this little mini dinette forward. I think this arrangement works really well, and the view out's very good as well. Nice big windows in this saloon, not the biggest in the sector, but still in the galley, if you're cooking, preparing drinks, you've got a fabulous view out from the other side of the boat. Lots of storage all lined up and down over here, and I think this is a great space. I love these forward dinettes, a bit more intimate, great place to have a coffee, maybe have breakfast. If you're on passage and you wake up in the morning and the boat's moving along, this would be a really nice place to sit next to the skipper. You can easily get to the galley, it's elevated, the view's good. I really like these areas. Finish off at the helm, of course. The most striking thing I think when you first get here is these lovely seats. They're leather, they're fully adjustable, they've got the most comfortable footrests I think I've ever felt, and this is a great position. Standing position, I love that you can stand at these helms. It's really nice if it is a bit rough. Sometimes just standing makes you feel a bit more confident. It's very easy to do so here. You've got this massive Azimut wheel, very familiar now, but the throttles are right underneath your hand, the joystick's right underneath your hand, the MFDs are nice and close. You've got a pair of Raymarines here, and then you've got this little panel down here which controls, all your switches are down here, the thruster. You've actually got a remote panel as well for the screen, so you don't have to use the touchscreen if you don't want to. And crucially, it aligns perfectly with the side door, so you can get out as the skipper really easily onto the side deck. Really, really crucial addition. It's a great helm station. Let's see what it's like downstairs. It's a 4-cabin, 4-bathroom arrangement on the lower deck of the 72, and when you first come down the companionway there are a few level changes and quite a big step, but they have at least put this really big handle here to help steady yourself as you move around the area. We'll start by moving forward. Here on the port side you've got a nice double cabin. There's only access to the bed down one side, but it is a good size. It's got the usual array of a bit of hull window and natural ventilation from a porthole, storage. Moving forward we have this cabin's ensuite, which is also the day head. You have access from inside that cabin, but also this door here, so guests can come down here in the day and use this bathroom. And then if we move right forward we have the primary guest cabin, this VIP double right forward. You can tell where we are because the headroom's really good. Lovely cabin, and again you're picking up all that lovely interior detailing which looks really smart, but it's practical as well. Eye level lockers, hang storage on both sides, and a really good generous ensuite for this cabin. Certainly the pick of the guest cabins. Now let's move amidships. We'll have a look at the third guest cabin and of course the owner's suite. Heading back amidships at the bottom of the companionway on the starboard side you have a twin cabin, and it's nicely arranged. They sort of taper towards the top so you have good leg room at the bottom here, but yeah, single berth but a good size, and again natural light, storage, hanging locker behind me, and actually a lovely ensuite. to this cabin. Then heading further amidships, we drop down a level, 3 steps, and we're into the owner's cabin. This is a really fabulous space. It feels like the interior design really comes together here. I think they'd gotten a little bit too bold with some of the previous designs. I think this gets it just right. There's enough interest, it's different, but it's not going to be divisive, I don't think. I think it works really, really nicely. I love the flash of colour over here on the storage. I like the mix of timber and the material down here. The lamp detailing is lovely throughout. We've seen that in the saloon, but it carries on down here as well. And a lovely ensuite. I think they've executed it beautifully. Not only is the space great because it goes almost to full beam, it is shared with a walk-in wardrobe over on that side, but the detailing in there is absolutely lovely. Every time you go in there you pick up some little nice bit of detail. They've clearly worked really hard on that. I think it's fabulous. From here then, the final places to look are the crew quarters and the engine room. Back here at the transom then, of course, we've got a hydraulic platform that sinks down into the water. This is also where you'd mount the tender, sink it down and float it off. Of course, the passerelle as well. If you're in the Mediterranean Waterstern too, you're going to want that. And then you can see you've got twin doors here. The one on the starboard side is just storage. Nice big storage void there where you can fit a lot of kit, especially if it's wet. Chuck it all in there and it's going to dry off fine in there. And then here you have really good access down into the crew space and engine room. And I think for a boat of this size, this whole area works really well. It's easy to access, that's a nice shallow staircase, easy to get into. And then although there's not a crew mess in here, bear in mind it's a 72 footer, you have got a berth out here, which is open plan so to speak, not amazingly private, it's only got a curtain. But then there is a completely separate cabin in here with a nice single bed, a bit of storage, its own air conditioning. So, you know, decent space for 2 crew members to sleep in here. They've got a separate bathroom over here, and this is also where the washer and dryer is. And there's also access from the cockpit down this ladder because we keep moving forward through this watertight door. You find the engine room. Let's step through there. Big old step to get through. But then once you're in, space is really good. Plenty of space above my head, it's 6 foot tall. And look at the room that these engines have got. I mean, these are big engine, these big MAN V12s, and I can quite easily move between them. There's actually a reasonable amount of space outboard of them as well. They've got the fuel tanks up here. The fuel filters are really easy to spot as well, mounted to the tanks themselves, so you can get to those really easily. Plenty of space around the twin generators, which are mounted aft, one on top of each other, but again, they're very easy to get to. It's incredibly well lit, it's neat and organised and tidy, it's nice to walk around on as well, it's not all checker plates so it doesn't hurt your knees and your feet when you're walking around in here. Yeah, it's a really well engineered space. Thanks very much for watching that tour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give the video a like. And if you want to watch a sea trial of the boat that Ed is currently filming from, the Azimut 53, we've done that in the UK. You can watch that if you click up here. And if you'd like to subscribe, click over here. Thanks for watching.